Hey, yo, check it out. This is Sunspot Jonz from the world famous Living Legends crew, Mystic Journeyman. You know what we do, West Coast. I mean, everything that I've been a part of since I was younger was about being music and being creative and being prolific and showing a different side to the norm. You know what I'm saying? So the beginnings of everything was always about the people around me, the groups that inspired me, the music atmosphere of the Bay Area. So I was always around it. I was always, a part of wanting to understand it more. So all of a sudden I became a part of it completely by making music, by putting it all together, influences, atmosphere and all. Man, one of the first earliest hip-hop things that I remember, my moments, was when my mom bought me Curtis Blow, The Breaks. She bought me that on a 45. And it changed my life for the fact of I didn't know that you could just really say things that you were thinking instead of just singing. I was so used to, like, my mom always played funk. My mom always played, like, R&B, James Ingram, Isaac Hayes. My mom was really deep into the soul and funk, and then she like upped me on this whole new realm. I guess my mom is the one that really put me up on all the whole music thing, because when she gave me that Curtis Blow 45, I mean, damn, these are the breaks. Break it up, break it. I mean, I was like, it changed my life. And I wanted a Jerry curl, but she would never let me get one. But that's a whole nother story. Man, the things that I was doing to get my name out are when I... How you doing? Pushing shit. That's what I was doing. All of a sudden I realized I could push these ideas, I could push these dreams, and like, I got my word out. I got my music out by actually just hitting the streets and hitting like-minded people and like making socials where other people, like, I was part of the outcast in the sense of we weren't like the typical type of music that you were used to when it came to the radio. You know what I'm saying? We were making that music I was making that music that was showing a different side. Like I call it thought knock, because it's all about thoughts. It's all about like getting deeper than the average MC, deeper than the average musician, and just showing a different part of your heart, if it goes like that, And honestly, my mom at first, she really wasn't into it too much, me doing the whole music thing. She wanted me to be a pediatrician. I went to school for biology. I went to school to really enter the medical field. And then all of a sudden, because I went to college in Hawaii, my undergrad years, I went to Chaminade University. And, I was deeply into the field until one day I read Lorraine Hansberry's To Be Young, Black, and Gifted. It's a play. And it changed my life. It made me think of things in a different way. And all of a sudden, I wanted to be more creative than I wanted to be academic. So she didn't like it too much. And she's a chemist herself. My uncle was a chemist. And, it's something that it was hard for them to figure out. But once they saw I was putting my heart into it and I was actually getting some sort of response that was good from it, they had my back. My mom would be the first person on my show. She'd be like this, and I'd be like, that's right, mama. The biggest challenge I've been able to overcome was just letting people know that the music that I was making was actually viable to this culture. Because coming from the Bay Area, everybody's so used to just gangster rap, R&B rap, commercialized rap, mainstream rap. And when I was coming up, the only people around me that was kind of doing anything hip-hop oriented that was large was hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics kind of, for me, they were the bricklayers for people understanding that this hip hop, this underground hip hop, this different kind of hip hop is actually dope as fuck, and people should pay attention to it. So, the biggest obstacle was just allowing myself to not be afraid and actually pushing myself to the furthest that I could, no matter what fear I had. There's a big song that me and my boy Lucky I Am did for Mystic Journeyman. It's called Break That Fear That Holds You Down. Well, it's called Break That Fear, and the chorus is break that fear that holds you down. Never can they stop the truth from being found. If you scared of life, then fall from the sky. or prepared to fight to keep your spirit alive. And basically that's what my whole mantra, my whole motto in life was about. It's just like, they don't want you to do it. They don't want you to exist. That's why I gotta exist. The thing that I'm most proudest about when it comes to my career and things that I never would have ever been able to do was actually travel the world and show people a part of my heart and a part of like our brain, a part of like our drive, a part of like, you know, our creativity. And, you know, a lot of people get a chance to travel the world and do a lot of different things, you know, with their art, but I got to do it by speaking. You know, a lot of people, they can paint. A lot of people, you know, maybe they do sports, but with me, it was like speaking and speaking what I believed, and like seeing, you know, once again, like-minded people come together off of these words and create, you know, a movement. So I think the best thing out of this whole thing is that I've been allowed to create a movement and be a part of other people's ambitions and drive. And like, you know, whenever someone sees me and they're like, you know, I've been listening to your music since I was a kid, or I've been listening to your music since I was in high school, you know, I mean, I feel hella old when they say that shit, but you know, I'm not that old, but when people say shit like that, it makes me feel real good that, you know, I actually believed in myself enough, or the people around me, we believed in ourselves enough to show this side that was not being shown before. And that's so important to, like, you know, if you believe in something, you should focus on it and actually put your full efforts towards it, and don't be afraid to like let that shine. If hip-hop never existed, I'd probably be a doctor, honestly. I'd be a pediatrician. I would have done exactly what my mom wanted me to do. And I have nothing against that, you know. I love doctors, even though they don't spend enough time with you. You know, the nurse spends more time with you than the doctor does. But, you know, I would have chose a whole different route. But I was always a writer. I'm an only child. So, like, you know, being an only child is a thing of, like, writing and showing another side of me has been a strong, you know, a strong path of me wanting to be a part of that. The one thing I want to leave just for people when it comes to my music after I'm gone is just that break that fear that holds you down. Like I said before, like, don't be afraid to push anything that you believe in your heart as true, because that's how I survived. That's why I'm here. I mean, I moved from East Oakland to Hollywood to pursue my dreams even further, not just in music, but in writing. Like I said, I've always been a writer, you know, and it's just been about what medium and what level I wanted to take it to. So if anyone takes anything out of this, you know, even if you don't like my music, you don't like my movies, you don't like my books, you don't like any of this stuff that I do, at least love my heart. Love that I'm here trying to push this, and there is no room for people like us, you know, people like me when it comes to being a dreamer. Dreamers are always going to be shut down. But as long as you believe, they can never stop you. We don't stop.